Weak feelings don't just hold you back, they destroy your future. Every time you give in to fear, doubt, or comfort, you're killing your potential. The strongest version of yourself is buried under layers of emotional weakness. Most people live trapped by their feelings. They feel tired, so they skip the workout. They feel scared, so they don't take the risk. They feel uncomfortable, so they stay silent. And their dreams slowly die. But there's a different path, the path of emotional mastery, the path where you control your feelings instead of letting them control you. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to kill your weak feelings. These aren't just theories. These are battle-tested strategies used by elite performers, military leaders, and self-made billionaires to push past their emotional limitations. The truth is, success isn't about talent or luck. It's about who can stay strong when everyone else gives in to weakness, who can push forward when others retreat, who can face the pain that others run from. By the end of this video, you will have the exact blueprint to identify, confront, and eliminate the weak feelings that have been sabotaging your life. This won't be comfortable, but it will change everything. Your emotional weakness ends today. Every dream you've abandoned began with a weak feeling you couldn't overcome. That promotion you wanted but didn't pursue, fear. That business you planned but never started, doubt. That relationship you wanted to fix but let crumble, discomfort. Weak feelings aren't just passing states, they're dream killers. When you allow fear to guide your actions, you build a prison of missed opportunities. Each time you retreat from discomfort, your comfort zone shrinks. Soon, even small challenges feel impossible. This is how potential dies, not in dramatic moments, but in small surrenders to emotional weakness. Studies show that successful people feel the same fears and doubts as everyone else. They simply refuse to let these emotions dictate their actions. While others use feelings as excuses, high achievers use them as information, then move forward anyway. Financial success gets crippled by emotional weakness too. Impulsive purchases driven by temporary feelings create lasting debt. Investment decisions made from fear lead to selling at the worst times. Careers stall because asking for raises feels too uncomfortable. Money problems often stem from emotional problems. Relationships suffer equally under the tyranny of unchecked feelings. Anger says things that can't be unsaid. Jealousy creates control that pushes people away. Fear of vulnerability prevents deep connection. Most failed relationships aren't lacking love. They're lacking emotional discipline. Health goals collapse under the weight of momentary cravings. Fitness plans die because temporary discomfort overrules long-term benefits. The body you want exists on the other side of emotions you haven't mastered. Weak feelings compound over time. Each surrender makes the next more likely. This creates a downward spiral where emotional weakness becomes your default response. Goals get abandoned faster. Challenges seem bigger. Life gets smaller. Emotional weakness doesn't just cost opportunities, it costs identity. You become known as unreliable, unstable, or weak. Others learn they can't count on you under pressure. Worst of all, you stop believing in yourself. Emotions don't appear randomly. They follow patterns triggered by specific situations, words, or thoughts that most people never consciously identify. Starting today, become a detective of your own emotional reactions. When a negative feeling hits, freeze that moment in your mind. What exactly happened right before? Who was there? What words were spoken? What thought crossed your mind? Most emotional triggers fall into predictable categories. Criticism triggers shame in some people. For others, being ignored sparks anger. Uncertainty might trigger anxiety. Each person has a unique emotional fingerprint, but identifying these patterns breaks their power. Keep an emotion log for 7 days. Write down every strong negative feeling, the exact situation that caused it, and your response. Patterns will emerge quickly. Perhaps Monday's work meeting, Thursday's phone call with family, and Saturday's social media scrolling all trigger the same feeling of inadequacy. These aren't random events. They're connected by an emotional trigger you must confront. Physical sensations give early warning signs before emotions take control. Tension in your jaw often precedes anger. A sinking stomach signals fear. Racing thoughts indicate anxiety approaching. By noticing these physical cues early, you gain precious seconds to choose your response before emotion takes over. Question your emotional reactions ruthlessly. When anger flares because someone cut you off in traffic, ask, does this deserve my emotional energy? Will this matter tomorrow? When anxiety spikes before speaking up in a meeting, ask, what's the worst outcome possible? Can I handle that? These questions create space between trigger and reaction. Meditation builds awareness of emotional triggers faster than any other practice. Just 10 minutes daily teaches your brain to observe feelings without immediately reacting to them. This creates the mental space needed to recognize triggers as they appear. Self-awareness without action creates frustration, not change. Once patterns emerge, create specific plans for your most common triggers. When criticism comes, pause for 3 breaths before responding. When uncertainty strikes, focus on the next single action rather than the entire unknown future. Emotional discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's the ability to act based on values and goals rather than fleeting emotions. Weak people let feelings dictate actions. Strong people feel the same emotions but act despite them. This single skill separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. Olympic athletes don't train only when motivated. Navy SEALs don't quit when exhausted. Top entrepreneurs don't abandon projects when frustrated. They've developed emotional discipline, the muscle that pushes through resistance when feelings scream to stop. Research shows emotional discipline predicts success better than IQ, talent, or resources. Stanford's famous marshmallow experiment demonstrated children who could delay gratification outperformed peers in nearly every life measure decades later. This wasn't about intelligence, it was about emotional control. Benefits extend beyond achievement. Relationships improve when reactions don't control responses. Financial security grows when spending decisions follow plans rather than impulses. Health transforms when consistent actions override momentary cravings. Even happiness increases as emotional discipline builds resilience against life's inevitable setbacks. Top performers practice emotional circuit breakers, techniques that interrupt automatic emotional reactions, counting to 10 before responding to provocation, writing down intense feelings before acting on them, stepping away from decisions when emotionally charged. These simple practices prevent emotion-driven mistakes. Decision fatigue weakens emotional discipline. Each choice depletes mental energy, making it harder to resist emotional impulses later. Elite performers minimize trivial decisions to conserve willpower for important challenges. Wearing similar clothes daily, eating planned meals, and following routines aren't quirks. They're strategic defenses against emotional depletion. Morning routines build emotional strength for the entire day. Cold showers train overriding discomfort. Meditation practices non-reactivity. Exercise teaches pushing through resistance. These rituals aren't just productivity hacks. They're systematic training for emotional discipline. Sleep deprivation destroys emotional control. Studies show even mild sleep deficits create emotional volatility similar to alcohol intoxication. Top performers prioritize sleep not as luxury, but as essential mental training. Emotions become manageable when the brain operates with proper rest. Mental responses can be reprogrammed like software. When weak feelings emerge, most people surrender automatically. This happens because neural pathways have been strengthened through repetition. Each time fear appears and you retreat, that pathway gets stronger. Each time discomfort strikes and you seek comfort, that connection deepens. But these pathways can be rewired through deliberate practice. Pattern interruption breaks emotional autopilot. When negative emotions surface, change your physical state immediately. Stand up if sitting. Change your breathing pattern. Squeeze your fists, then release. These physical shifts interrupt the automatic emotional sequence before it gains momentum. Replacement thinking creates new mental pathways. For every negative thought, create 3 alternative interpretations. Failed at something? Instead of I'm a failure, think, this approach didn't work. I'm gathering data for success, and this obstacle is making me stronger. Repeatedly practicing alternative interpretations weakens old neural connections while building new ones. Cognitive reframing transforms emotional triggers from threats to opportunities. Nervous before speaking? Reframe it as excitement. Physically, they're nearly identical. Facing a difficult challenge? Reframe it as a chance to prove your capability. Consistent reframing changes what situations mean to your brain, which changes the automatic emotional response. Daily visualization strengthens new mental pathways before they're needed. Mentally rehearse facing triggers while maintaining emotional control. See yourself receiving criticism calmly, confronting fears directly, or staying disciplined during temptation. This mental practice builds neural patterns that activate during real challenges. Direct exposure accelerates rewiring faster than any other technique. Gradually face precisely what triggers weak emotions. Start small. If public speaking terrifies you, speak first to 1 person, then 3, then 10. Each exposure weakens the emotional reaction while strengthening new response patterns. Implementation intentions pre-program new responses to specific triggers. Create if-then plans. If I feel angry during feedback, then I'll take 3 deep breaths before responding. If I feel like quitting my workout, then I'll do just 5 more minutes. These specific plans bypass willpower, activating automatically when triggers appear. Tracking progress reinforces new neural pathways. Document each successful emotional regulation, no matter how small. Each victory proves your growing ability to choose responses rather than react automatically, which builds confidence for bigger challenges. Comfort is emotional kryptonite. Every comfort zone started as a survival mechanism, avoiding pain, reducing risk, minimizing effort. But what once protected now imprisons. Walls built for safety become limitations that shrink life's possibilities. Breaking free requires deliberate discomfort, not as punishment, but as training. Evolution designed humans to avoid discomfort, but modern life rarely presents physical threats, just psychological ones. Discomfort now signals growth opportunities, not danger. Pain during exercise builds muscle. Struggle during learning builds skill. Emotional discomfort builds mental strength that nothing else can match. Special Forces units worldwide use strategic discomfort as their primary training tool. They deliberately create sleep deprivation, physical exhaustion, mental confusion, and extreme challenges. Why? Because facing controlled hardship builds capacity for real-world challenges. Civilian life requires the same approach on a different scale. Cold showers provide perfect daily discomfort training. That initial shock creates an immediate emotional response, resistance, retreat, rationalization. Stepping in anyway, despite these feelings, trains overriding emotional reactions. Just 30 seconds builds emotional muscle that transfers to bigger life challenges. Fasting from food periodically teaches mastery over one of the strongest biological drives. Going without eating for 16 to 24 HRs trains the brain that discomfort can be endured, physical urges can be controlled, and cravings don't require immediate satisfaction. Social rejection terrifies most people. Yet practicing small social risks, striking conversations with strangers, sharing opinions in groups, asking questions in public, builds immunity to this common fear. Each interaction teaches that rejection causes no actual harm, just momentary discomfort. Physical challenges bypass mental resistance. Holding a wall, sit until muscles burn. Completing one more repetition when exhausted. Hiking that final mile when energy fades. These physical tests teach that I can't really means I don't want to feel this discomfort. A crucial distinction for emotional mastery. Delayed gratification trains perhaps the most essential emotional skill, waiting 24 hours before any non-essential purchase, saving dessert for tomorrow, working before entertainment. Each small delay strengthens impulse control that underlies nearly every worthwhile achievement. Purpose transforms unbearable pain into meaningful challenge. Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl discovered this in concentration camps, watching prisoners with strong purpose endure unimaginable suffering while others lost hope. Purpose isn't just motivation, it's psychological armor against emotional weakness. When actions connect to deeper meaning, feelings lose their power to derail progress. Weak feelings thrive in ambiguity. Vague goals create space for emotions to take control. Getting in shape allows countless excuses. Completing 100 workouts in 100 days to prove my commitment to health leaves no room for negotiation. Specific purpose eliminates the gray areas where weak feelings hide. Military units endure extreme conditions through shared purpose. SEALs don't continue during Hell Week because it feels good. They continue because their purpose of serving something larger than themselves outweighs temporary suffering. This same principle works for civilian challenges when purpose is sufficiently compelling. Purpose creates emotional hierarchy. Without clear priorities, all feelings seem equally important. Purpose establishes what matters most, making it obvious which emotions deserve attention and which should be ignored. Discomfort during a workout becomes irrelevant compared to the purpose of building strength for family longevity. Finding purpose requires brutal honesty. Surface motivations fade quickly under pressure. Money, status, and approval provide weak emotional fuel. Dig deeper. What truly matters enough to endure discomfort for? Family, legacy, service, creative expression. The strongest purposes connect to values that transcend personal comfort. Write purpose statements for major life areas. Career. I build businesses that solve problems for others while providing family security. Health. I maintain physical strength to remain independent throughout life and set an example for my children. Relationships. I develop deep connections by being vulnerable and supportive despite emotional risks. These statements become emotional anchors during difficult moments. Purpose requires regular renewal. Even the strongest why fades under daily pressure without reinforcement. Top performers review their purpose daily, visualize it, write about it, and connect with others who share it. This constant renewal makes purpose immediately accessible when emotions threaten progress. Competing purposes create internal conflict that weakens resolve. Many people sabotage goals by holding contradictory purposes, wanting health but also wanting comfort, desiring growth but also craving security. Identifying and resolving these conflicts eliminates the emotional battles that drain energy. Mind and body operate as one integrated system. Physical discipline directly builds mental discipline through shared neural pathways. When muscles learn to push through resistance, the mind learns the same lesson. When the body develops endurance for physical discomfort, emotional endurance grows simultaneously. This explains why nearly every world-class performer maintains strict physical regimens regardless of their field. Military training worldwide focuses heavily on physical discipline for good reason. Exhausting physical demands teach soldiers to function effectively despite emotional distress. This training carries beyond combat situations into everyday emotional challenges. Research confirms that individuals with high physical discipline show significantly better emotional regulation in crisis situations. Early morning workouts particularly build mental fortitude. Waking at 5 a.m. to exercise requires overriding multiple layers of resistance: the comfort of bed, physical fatigue, mental excuses. Each victory over these feelings strengthens overall emotional resilience. The workout itself becomes secondary to the mental discipline of simply showing up. Proper posture immediately affects emotional state. Slouching increases cortisol levels and negative emotions. Standing tall, shoulders back, activates testosterone production and confidence. This physical habit literally rewires emotional responses within seconds. Force upright posture during difficult emotions and watch their intensity diminish. Breathing patterns directly control emotional reactions. Fast, shallow breathing triggers fight or flight responses. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing emotional reactivity. Box breathing: inhale 4 counts, hold 4 counts, exhale 4 counts, hold 4 counts, provides immediate emotional regulation during intense situations. Consistent sleep schedules build mental discipline more effectively than willpower exercises. Fixed wake times, regardless of weekend or vacation status, regulate hormones that control emotional stability. The discipline of maintaining sleep hygiene despite social pressures builds boundary-setting skills applicable to all emotional challenges. Intermittent fasting trains the mind to differentiate between actual needs and mere wants. Hunger sensations without immediate eating break the stimulus response pattern controlling most people's lives. This same pattern breaking applies to emotional triggers once the skill develops. Progressive physical challenges systematically build mental toughness. Start with manageable discomfort: 50 push-ups daily, 1-minute cold showers, 1-day fasts. Gradually increase intensity as tolerance develops. Each progression teaches that perceived limits are mostly emotional, not physical. Emotions contain tremendous energy, even negative ones. Most people waste this energy through complaining, avoidance, or self-pity. Elite performers transform this same emotional energy into productive power. Anger becomes determination. Fear becomes focus. Frustration becomes precision. This alchemy converts emotional weakness into strength without suppressing natural feelings. Michael Jordan used rejection as rocket fuel. Cut from his high school basketball team, he channeled that humiliation into obsessive practice, using the emotion to power thousands of hours of training. This pattern repeated throughout his career. Perceived slights transformed into championship performances. This wasn't positive thinking, it was negative emotion transformed into positive action. Anxiety creates powerful energy that most waste through worry. This same physiological activation, increased heart rate, heightened awareness, blood flow to muscles, creates peak performance when directed properly. Combat pilots call this channeling the surge, using pre-mission anxiety to enhance focus rather than diminish it. This technique applies equally to business presentations, difficult conversations, or creative challenges. Embarrassment typically triggers avoidance. Redirect this powerful emotion into improvement instead. When professional skills fall short, embarrassment can drive deep practice of precisely what needs development. This transforms a potentially crippling emotion into targeted growth. Competitive anger, properly channeled, creates unstoppable drive. World-class athletes often perform best against rivals who previously defeated them. The emotional energy of past losses fuels preparation intensity, impossible to generate from positive emotions alone. This same dynamic works in business, academics, and personal goals. Jealousy typically generates resentment or self-pity. Redirected, it reveals exactly what you truly want. When jealousy strikes, identify the specific element creating that response. Career advancement, creative recognition, relationship quality. This emotional trigger highlights values worth pursuing through productive action rather than negative rumination. Grief contains enormous emotional energy most people process passively. Channeled into meaningful projects, memorial efforts, or helping others, grief transforms into purpose that can fuel decades of significant achievement while honoring what was lost. Emotional recycling requires physical motion. Sitting still with negative emotions often creates spiraling thoughts. Physical activity, intense exercise, brisk walking, even household chores provides a pathway to transform emotional energy into productive output while processing the feeling constructively. Killing weak feelings isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally sovereign. You'll still feel fear, doubt, and discomfort, but they'll no longer control your actions. You'll use them as information, not instructions. This journey takes practice, but each small victory builds momentum toward the person you're meant to become. Start today by identifying one weak feeling that consistently holds you back. Apply just one technique from this video when that feeling appears. Don't try to change everything at once. Mastery comes through consistent small steps, not overnight transformation. The world is full of people controlled by their emotions. They live reactive lives, blown about by every feeling that passes through them. By developing emotional discipline, you step into a different category of human being, one who chooses their path, regardless of emotional weather. Your future self is watching right now, hoping you'll take that first step. The strength you've been searching for isn't found in motivation videos or inspirational quotes. It's built through daily battle with your own weak feelings. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content on building mental toughness. Your weak feelings are waiting for you to destroy them. What are you waiting for?